Previously, I reviewed the Anaconda episode Works of Art. It's an episode about Angela drawing an unflattering picture of Mrs. Brinks and having to get it back. While it was intended as simply a simple story, with 20 years of hindsight, this episode got me thinking. There's a lot one can take away on how you look at art, and this show specifically. In this episode, Angela draws a portrait of Mrs. Brinks and draws exactly what she sees. She's told it's horrible by Mrs. Brinks and Annette, even though there's nothing really wrong or unflattering about it. Mrs. Brinks, who's less interested in actually teaching drawing techniques and is really just looking for attention, of course favors a much more flattering, but also a lot less realistic version drawn by Nanette. Even Angela's friends start to imply that her drawing was horrible, likely just because Mrs. Brinks, the supposed authority, said so. So Angela metaphorically says screw it, lets her guard down, and goes in the opposite direction, intentionally making a horrible, ugly piece of artwork criticizing Mrs. Brinks, showing how she really feels and has nothing to lose in actually making it. This gets her a lot of praise and attention, but also puts her at a big risk of getting in trouble, especially when it almost gets in Mrs. Brinks' hands. So Angela sneaks back into school and tries to take it back, which is not easy after putting your creation out into the world. In the journey, she finds an unlikely person, the school janitor, who finds her art, relates to it, and appreciates it. In a small way, Angela found her audience and a connection through something she created, something she's truly grateful for. Looking at this with hindsight, this episode is a unique look at Anaconda's history as a piece of art. It's a show that's weird and has its flaws, yes, but still so unique, ultimately with its heart in the right place, that got a ton of backlash for years, partially because it is so different, and partially because of people misunderstanding or overlooking its better qualities. But there were fans when it came out, there are fans now, and more people that are even willing to give it another look. But speaking more generally, there's a lot about artwork that can be taken from this episode. 1. Art is complicated. It's a way to reflect the world and connect with others, to challenge authority and our point of view, and to see humanity in all sorts of different forms. But on the dark side, it can also be used to hurt and demonize others. And there will also always be politics at play in who gets to choose what artwork actually gets seen and appreciated. Art is subjective. Some people want fantasy, super flattering, otherworldly, or unrealistic pieces, which by itself is not even a bad thing. Some people like something more down to earth and realistic, and some people have an appreciation for the ugly. But what is beautiful, realistic, or ugly depends completely on the individual. And finally, art is also always going to be criticized. There will always be pretentious people on their high horse criticizing something. There will also be people who criticize something just because of its reputation, whether it's really popular or really unpopular, or because they don't really understand it. But at its best, criticism is valid and can even make the work better. And in between, there will be people who love and appreciate it regardless. Because when it comes to creation, no matter how popular it is, someone hates it, and no matter how unpopular it is, someone loves it. No exceptions. So it's important to see something for yourself, form your own opinions, like what you like, and most importantly, keep creating and keep getting better.